Guys, this is the Super Review Show here for an editorial video. I haven't done one of these in a long time, but I figured I'd do one right about now. As we approach the end of the year 2020, and as the year has been chaotic in many ways, in many different forms, I'd like to point out to you something that I noticed this morning when I woke up today. I turned on my television, I watched the morning news, and they had the top artists streamed on Spotify for the year 2020. And as a lifelong rock and roll fan of classic rock, hard rock, alternative rock, metal, new wave, as a fan of all this stuff, I was not surprised at all that there wasn't any top streamings, because it's not. I'll get more into it in a second. But basically, I was kind of shocked that not even like a band like The Killers or Fall Out Boy or certain other bands who reached such mainstream level were not even in this broadcast. And what I want to talk a little bit about today is the name of this video is Why Rock Music is Not Dead. Keyword is not. It's not dead. See, a lot of people go down the discussions and they say, oh, well, yeah, rock music's dead. We're so glad it's dead. If it was dead, the following things that happened this year in the middle of a pandemic would not have happened. First off, Green Day releases an album in February. For those of you who may want to go back and remember this, right? I have my notes right here, so I can help you out. Green Day released an album in February of 2020, and it tops the UK and Australian charts and debuts at number 4 on the Billboard 200. Okay, so first and foremost, you have Green Day, long-time established punk rock band Green Day, coming with a major chart debut. This is just February. I'm going to get into the whole year in a second, and then get back to why rock, and along the way I'm going to explain certain things. Green Day was supposed to tour this year with Weezer and Fall Out Boy, which I had tickets to go see the Hella Mega Tour. Super excited for it, could not wait. And it's going to stadiums. There's all these hits from all these bands. Why not do like a giant 3-band tour? You know, why not? Green Day released this album, and it does very well on the charts. Okay? And it sells quite a bit of CDs, truthfully. Then, in March, Ozzy Osbourne, classic rock, Black Sabbath, solo artist, you know, we all know who he is. He comes in with a solo album that debuts at number 3 on the Billboard 200. And throughout the album, there's many different collaborations. There's Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers, and there's Slash, and there's Elton John. And it's a fantastic record. Then in March as well, Pearl Jam releases their 11th studio album, Gigaton. I love this album, and I became more of a Pearl Jam fan over the past year or so, this year in particular, and their last album in 2013 as well, which got me, I knew about 10, I knew about Vitalogy and Versus, but this really got me more into this band that's a really solid band. I haven't seen them live, but if you've seen them live, you know what I'm talking about. They play so well together, and they're fantastic. Anyways, the album does so well on vinyl. You know, like remember the big vinyl records. It sells over 14,000 copies on vinyl, and it debuts at number 5 on the Billboard 200. Again, rock is dead. It's debuting on the Billboard 200. Are you effing kidding me? So, anyways, COVID hits, and all this stuff is going on, and you know, the Foo Fighters were scheduled to tour. All this stuff, the whole industry got put down on a hold. The Killers released their 6th album, Imploding the Mirage. And in the UK, it tops the UK and Australian charts at number 1. But it only reaches number 8 in the US. We're only selling 37,000 albums. But 50,000 across the UK and Australia. You might ask, well, clearly the Killers are one of the biggest bands in the world right now. So is Muse, other stuff like that. Metallica puts out a live album. Okay, Metallica releases an album with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, and it debuts on number 1 on the rock charts. I have to look at my notes. I'm sorry. It debuts at number 1 on the rock charts, the hard rock albums chart, and the classical albums chart, all at number 1, and it reaches 4 on the Billboard 200 all albums format chart. This makes Metallica the first band to have 4 different songs top different charts in 4 different decades. I'm sorry, did I see Juice WRLD do that? No, because he's dead. Now, this might interest you. I did take note of this, though, because this was very interesting to me. Machine Gun Kelly, who is known to be hip-hop, and you're like, why are you talking about hip-hop? I'm talking about hip-hop because of this. He made a pop-punk album, which sounds like Blink-182, Good Charlotte, stuff like that. And it debuts at number 1 on the Billboard 200. Oh my god, a hip-hop artist is doing punk rock. Fuck you, I swear to God, it's the best movie he ever made. Alright? And a bunch of his songs crossed into the Hot 100. So he's putting out pop-punk songs on the all-format streaming Hot 100 chart. Now, this is not just the rock charts, it's the mainstream charts. And they all go different. No, they all start off at like number 28, number 44, etc. Whatever. Now, in fact, his album "Tickets to My Downfall" continued to stay in the top 5 of the Billboard 200. The Billboard 200 holds his album for about 5 weeks in the top 5. He's like at number 6 and he's at number 5. People are exploding about this stuff. It's fantastic. I just had to take a note of this because this is, again, super fascinating. 42 years, 4 decades, 42 years after Fleetwood Mac's Rumors enters the charts, it is back in the top 10. Top 10. Fleetwood Mac's Rumors is back on the top 10 of the Billboard 200 because of TikTok. What else is new? Because of that viral TikTok that went out, I don't have TikTok, so sorry. Bruce Springsteen, my idol, my God, my Jesus on earth, releases his 20th studio album and his first in 6 years called Letter to You. It debuts at number 2 on the Billboard 200, making him the first artist ever to have a top 5 album in 6 separate decades. Suck it to the rest of the planet who think, oh, rock is dead, man. Fuck you, alright? Rock is not dead. And that was just October, November. I'm going down the year, man. Then, rock pioneers and legends of riff rock, AC/DC, come back with Power Up, and they have the number 1 released album on the planet. Not just the United States, not just England, not just Australia. They have it across the planet at number 1. Oh, let's cover other stuff too. This isn't a big deal at all. Malcolm Young's been dead. They had a big fiasco with Axl Rose. Whatever, right? Honestly, and this is a whole thing. So first off, let me just start off by saying rock music is not dead. It is alive. It is well. Cultural stuff has brought pop punk back into the mainstream a little bit. Machine Gun Kelly, I just mentioned, is one of those guys. So for those of you with a stick up your ass, it's like, oh, rock music is clearly dead because it's not on the radio. It's on the radio. You just have to find it. If you want to listen to Blink-182, go to SiriusXM.com, make an account, and listen to the Emo Project. You'll hear Fall Out Boy, Weezer, Green Day, Blink-182, Panic at the Disco. You'll hear all these bands. Coldplay on Alt Nation. Or The Killers on Alt Nation. You'll hear Muse on Alt Nation. You'll hear all these bands. What pisses me off is that, like, oh, rock is dead. No one is not, and it's not that anyone's not listening to it either. The fan base is still there of all these different bands, of artists, of solo, the whole thing. What pisses me off though is that when people are like, oh, well, rock. What pisses me off the most though is when big rock star like Gene Simmons says to the people, oh, rock music's dead. If rock music was dead, AC/DC would not announce a stadium tour, Metallica would be plummeting at the core, and none of it would be making money or being successful. If it was dead, none of that would be the case. And true rock and roll bands will never die. I said it, and I am calling it out. All right? It's not dead. 2020 just proved that even in a time of crisis, even in a time of real tragedy and sadness in the world, I mean, I've done COVID stuff before on the YouTube channel. This, to me, these chart hits show that the audience is still there. They're still doing great work. And in fact, last year, some of these artists released music last year. Bruce Springsteen put out a fantastic Western orchestral pop, a brand new thing for him style of music called Western Stars. Check that out immediately. Just a great album. Tool music releases their first album in 13 years, and it explodes everywhere. Slipknot releases an album. Blink-182 released their most recent album. Coldplay released. Rock music is not dead, ladies and gentlemen. You have to find it. There is great music being put out there. There's great music being created in the rock world, and you just have to find it. I hate to say this because it should just be mainstream. That's the first half of what I wanted to talk about today. The second half of what I wanted to mention to you, my audience, was that, okay, that was the first half. So it's not dead. Well, why is it not being acknowledged? The reason why it's not being acknowledged is because mainstream corporations and award shows don't seem to want to put it on their networks. I made a rant on my personal Instagram. I'm not telling you what it is, because I'm not telling you my profile because I don't, I like to keep certain things private. But let me read it to you. All right. They had, and I wrote this out. I said, "Dear AMAs, American Music Awards, Entertainment Tonight, and the Grammys." This is the biggest middle finger I could have given them. "Dear AMAs, Entertainment Tonight, and Recording Academy of the Grammys. These are the artists you have not shown their success and amazing albums and achievements that happened this year. True. Despite having massive chart success and selling albums, you continue to not show these artists at all on your award shows. As a fan of music, regardless of genre, as a fan of music, I am embarrassed to watch your award shows. When you don't even show all music, all you do is show the mainstream pop, contemporary stuff, or hip hop stuff. It's time to break out time to break that trend, man. I said, go back and review your facts. And I tagged two highly big advocates of rock and roll. Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine and Eddie Trunk from SiriusXM's Trunk Nation. Eddie Trunk and Tom Morello show their love of rock music all over their Instagrams. And even during the coronavirus, how it hurt the music industry, these artists are working their asses off to put out great music and put their lives at risk to save our stages. For Christ's sake, take note. It's the truth. And if you have a problem with that, leave. Because this is a big issue for me personally as a music fan, as a diehard rock and roll fan who has vinyl, who has instruments, who is I love it. I love it. It's that kind of music has made an impact on my life. The problem is that these award shows are not showing it. The problem is these late night shows are not having as many guests on as they could. SNL had the 1975 on. I forget when it was. It was great. Or they had Coldplay on. They had Bon Jovi. It doesn't matter. These artists need to be put on these shows more to hit the more mainstream audiences. Rock and roll needs a big kick in the ass. It's not gone anywhere. It's not dead. It's not. If it was dead, none of this stuff would be charting in the first place. I just wanted to get this off my chest, if you couldn't tell. Listen, I've gone off on this editorial way too long. What do you guys think about this? Please sound off in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and to see, what do you think? Am I completely crazy? Am I out of my mind? As a passionate rock and roll fan, am I just gone berserk? What do you think about this? Please jump in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And please share with me any other insight you have. I'd love to interact with you guys. Jump down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But for all of your Super Review Show editorials, keep it locked on the Super Review Show. J-Man, off to work.